Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here today to the BL Transport 170 at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. We are getting set here for this one. Road course racing action. First time we are going to race on a road course race this season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 5. We're about to hop into session qualifying as we usually do on the road courses, and we're about to get going from then on. Pixelated, welcome to the stream.
Time to go.
And here we go. Riding as Dale Jr. for this Xfinity Series season. Championship mode, nearly halfway done with the regular season up to this point. A huge regular season championship lead and already a half a dozen wins this season to go on with it. Junior looking to keep pace, try to keep that regular season championship hopes alive up to this point. Get him that extra 15 playoff points that will be crucial for when the playoffs start. Just keep trying to get more and more playoff points over the course of the season. But with this being the first road course race of the year, we know some of the drivers that have been running well on the road courses in recent history. Chase Briscoe, no win so far this season, though he's sitting second in points. Austin Cindric also doesn't have a win yet this season. This is a good spot for him to get that win. Jeremy Clements won here. His only Xfinity Series win was a couple years ago at Mid-Ohio in the rain and got the job done. Can he get it done again today? So there's a few drivers we'll have to keep an eye on and look out for over the course of this race. 2 laps in this opening session of qualifying here, trying to make it to round 2, and then we'll go from there. Top 12 will advance to the second and final round of qualifying as well. So far, Junior hitting his marks really well on this opening lap of qualifying. Things are going so far so good. A little wide there. Well, the first corner he didn't hit perfectly all lap. We'll see how that might cost him in his lap time at the line. 122.472 will be the lap time for Dale Jr. on lap 1. See if he can pick up the pace on lap 2. Hairpin can be a very tough corner right there. We've seen guys overrun it into the sand trap before. We've seen guys just not be able to get back to the gas in time plenty of times, and going into the longest straightaway of the racetrack. It's one of the more crucial corners on the track. It's one of the better passing lanes around this tighter road course as well. Right now, Junior's top of the charts. But not many drivers have actually made a lap that is not their warm-up lap. Junior was the first to do it. Oh, he really messed up through the shifts that time. Saw Brandon Jones even catch up to him just a little bit more. Jones, of course, running behind Dale Jr. right now. But we'll see at the line what his lap time will be there. Slower than what it was on lap 1. But still top of the chart. So Junior tops the charts in round 1. Chase Briscoe will be second. There you take a look at the 12 drivers, as Austin Cindric barely sneaks in there by about 1/10 of a second. to go to the final round of knockout qualifying. Called 48, welcome to the stream.
Hammer down.
So 10 Ohio for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and Dale Jr. once again will be the first driver out on the racetrack to try and make a lap. R6, welcome to the stream. No practice, but with the session qualifying on these road courses, that's really all I need personally. As long as we make it to the second round, we'll be able to get enough laps in to get practice around this racetrack ourselves. We'll get to practice a pit stop at some point in time as well during the course of this second session. Now, Junior again topped the charts in round 1, so we'll see if he can do that again here in round 2. His lap time was a 1:22.472. Junior looking to sit on the pole for the first time this season, has not qualified on the pole yet. Although we haven't qualified for many races as well, but so I'll have to wait and see how this is going to work out. They might have more than 20 Martinsville wins. Did Terry Labonte win any races for... I feel like Terry Labonte won at Martinsville. I don't know that for sure, so you'd have to fact check me on it, but I feel like he could have at least won a Martinsville race. Darrell Waltrip too. Waltrip could have won. Jeff Bodine, I don't know. In recent memory, yeah, 20 in the last couple decades. That's pretty impressive of itself, but gotcha, of those 4, yeah. Yeah, just those 4 alone, that's pretty impressive, for sure. So this is the first lap that will top the charts here, with Junior being the first driver to get that lap in. We'll see what it will be at the line. 1:23.336, so that's almost 9/10 of a second slower than what he ran in round 1. So he's going to have to pick that up likely if he's going to want to qualify on the pole for today's race. Michael Annett, 1:26. Junior a little deep into the hairpin there. Get back to the gas pretty decently, not bad. Pulls Allgaier a little bit behind him. Look at that rear wheel spin there from Dale Jr. That curb kind of helped him turn almost a little too much. Just goes to show, though, the season Junior's had. If he can qualify on the pole for the first time this year, it's about the only thing he hasn't done over the course of this season. A little hard into the braking zone there. Now he's just going to decide to pit this lap instead of coming back around. I think he messed up the corner just enough that he felt now was the best time to pit, instead of wasting another minute and a half to not get another lap in. Davion West, welcome to the stream. Give you some things to expect, like rage and game malfunctions. Probably, I don't know.
Okay, get
I'm just all joking aside. Thanks. Jeremy Clements, top of the charts, 123.229 right now. Mentioned earlier on, back when we were qualifying in session 1, that he has won here a couple years ago. Oh man, that was a big slide off the curb there through the hairpin. Noah Gragson now top of the charts, 122.279. That is faster than what Dale Jr. ran in round 1 when Jr. went to the top of the charts. And with less than half the round to go, these guys better get on it if they're going to want to catch Gragson for the pole. Gragson, another driver who hasn't won yet this season. A lot of strong cars who haven't won yet. This can make for a very, very interesting season, that's for sure. Junior now down to 5th. Even Ross Chastain in 4th place is now ahead of him. Clements back to 3rd. Somebody either went to the top of the charts or at least up to 2nd place. Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, 6th, 7th. So this is another warm-up lap for Junior, so his next lap really won't start until we get to just over the 3.5 minute mark as he's coming through the final set of corners. Yeah, so Dale Jr.'s leading the regular season point standings right now by a wide margin. I think we've got like a 123-point lead. It's kind of ridiculous how far ahead we are. Just absolutely dominate. Of all 3 series, this is by far the biggest blowout. The other 2 series, the Truck and the Cup series, both of our leads are 30 points or less in those 2 series, and we just have more wins in the Xfinity series too. So we're just flat out dominating. But Dale Jr. not known for racing well on the road courses, and he goes a little wide there in turn number 3. That's going to cost him on this lap now, and he's less than 3 minutes to go. If he's going to want to get that first pole of the season. He is just struggling here in round 2. That's something we did not see in the opening round. Might have been no pressure. He could have very easily known that all I got to do is just get to the top 12. I could easily do that, but now the pressure is on to try and get that first pole of the year, and Junior kind of struggling just a little bit. Try and find that speed. Runs a little wide again. Just over 2 minutes to go. He actually picked up the pace just a little bit despite messing up a couple corners. 123.231. That jumps him up to 4th. Noah Gragson still at the top of the charts right now. That 122.2. Justin Allgaier just a 1/10 of a second behind his teammate Gragson there. Allgaier in 2nd. The 122.381. And Jeremy Clements in 3rd. So Junior just jumped up 1 spot from 5th to 4th ahead of Chastain. Pretty good through the first 2 turns. He missed turn 3 on the last lap. This lap he hits it perfectly. So he should have 1 more lap after this one. Next lap will probably be the last. Problem is we've got a car just up ahead, I believe. Yes, it is. Justin Haley in the 11 for Colleague Racing is right ahead of Dale Jr. And this is either going to cost Junior on this lap or it's going to cost him next lap. I don't think it's going to cost him on this lap at all. He's not going to catch Haley a little wide there, but he actually didn't go as wide as it probably looked like he could have. Good through the final corner at the line. 3rd, 123.039. Final lap now. Has to make quick work of Justin Haley. He passes him. Haley gets back alongside of him. That's going to cost Junior a little bit of time on lap 1 if he's going to want to get the pole. This is his final chance at it. Final lap to get the first pole of the season. And although Junior picked up the pace that last lap, it wasn't good enough. Even his round 1 time still would have been 3rd. A little wider than what Junior wanted to go there. It wasn't terrible by any means, but This is going to be close. Maybe could have gotten back to the gas a little too soon there. I don't know how much time that pass on Justin Haley costed him, but I would have had to have assumed it costed him a decent amount of time. That's probably the best he's got through the second to last turn on the track. Gets back to the gas really good. Final corner up to third gear at the line. 122.920. So he picked up the pace by a couple tenths of a second, but that is it. And that will be good enough for third is what it looks like. Yep, Noah Gragson top of the charts with a 122.279. Junior's best qualifying effort of the year, but not good enough for the pole. So 1, 2, 3 Junior Motorsports in qualifying here. Looking for some speed as they try to get the win on the first road course race of the season. All right. Where am I on NASCAR Thunder 2004 points? I am 10th. I just moved into 10th after winning the Food City 500 yesterday. 10th, I think we're 188 back of Newman. So just over one race behind him still. Still early in the season. Ross Chastain looks well prepared for the race. He qualified top 5. Josh Bilicki not looking that fast. Neither is Joe Graf Jr. So here we go for this race. Again, Noah Gragson on the pole. Michael Annett outside pole in second. You got Dale Jr. here third. Jeremy Clements fourth. Green flag in the air. First road course race of the NASCAR Xfinity season on NASCAR Heat 5 is underway. 20 laps in stage 1, another 20 laps in stage 2. There are 3 wide in turn 1. What a move by Dale Jr. using the access road to pass his teammates. A 3 wide dive bomb for the lead first turn of the first lap, and he got it cleanly nonetheless. Wasting no time, and neither is Jeremy Clements, who quickly jumps up to second place. So the 2 drivers on the front row in the first 2 turns have dropped to third and fourth. As it's the 2 drivers from row 2 to get 1-2 on the leaderboard of Junior and Clements, who will lead lap 1 as we're about a half a lap in. Dale Jr. will come off the final couple turns, and he will lead lap 1 at Mid-Ohio. Noah Gragson's jumped back up to second place after losing 2 spots on the initial start. So he got around Jeremy Clements. Jr. has about a 2.5 second lead. We'll see if Gragson has a faster car than Clements, and he can maybe start to run him down. And Clements jumping up to second place definitely helped Jr. widen the gap out, but the pole sitter is now going to try to run him back down. I think the 8 and the 9, they could be pretty even with each other. We'll have to see at the start-finish line just how much time will be gained over the course of the lap. Junior does have that clean air advantage right now. So hard to pass on the road courses, especially if you're trying to pass the leader. But that last lap, Noah Gragson was a lot quicker than Dale Jr. About 0.6 of a second quicker. That's quite a bit of time. But of course in qualifying, he qualified ahead of Junior by 0.7 of a second, so that is pretty reasonable. Gragson's got speed here today, just like he did in qualifying. But when he catches Dale Jr., will he be able to pass him? Jr. did not get through turn 2 very well. Better at Martinsville, Jeff or Jimmy? Well, Chase isn't, so we'll take him out of there. I see you put him in after that. No, Chase only has one win there, and it's way too early in his career to dictate if he's... Martinsville's one of his better tracks, but he's far better at the road courses than what he's had, you know, success-wise at Martinsville. But anyway, yeah, Gordon or Jimmy, man, that's tough. I feel like Gordon was a better short track racer than Jimmy. But I'd probably have to say Jimmy for Martinsville. That was one of Jimmy's better tracks. Charlotte, Dover, Texas is right up there. I'd probably go Jimmy with the edge at Martinsville, but I think Gordon was a better overall short track racer. Because he won a lot more at Bristol than what Jimmy Johnson did. I don't know how many wins either one had at Richmond. I always kind of figured Jeff Gordon was a better road course driver. Road course and short track. I didn't mean to say road course, I meant short track. But he's a better road course racer too. So Noah Gragson has caught Dale Jr. over the last lap and a half to 2 laps. Can he get... Oh man, he puts the bumper to him. Jeez, oh Pete's. Lap 4 rather, and he just kind of drilled Jr. trying to use the bump and run tactic to get around him, and it just didn't quite work out for him. Almost kind of shot Jr. a little further out ahead of him, as well as it slowed up the 9 car. He might have hit him a little too hard. That was not a tap and go, let's just say that much. But he tried to bump and run on lap 4. Gragson aggressively trying to get to the lead. The last race at Charlotte, Dale Jr. won both stages, won the race, and Noah Gragson finished second in both stages and second in the race. So Gragson's trying to beat his boss this time. After that little bit of contact, Jr. pulled ahead by about 5 or 6 car lengths, and Gragson just hasn't been able to come back at him now. That was crazy how much deeper he drove it into turn 3 than what Dale Jr. did, and we'll see if he gains more time again with it. He does gain more time. That seems to be where Gragson's gaining a ton of time on Jr., is right in turn number 3. Big bounce off the curb. Gragson had a lot better corner exit there. Maybe beat Jr. back to the gas as well. And he is all over the back of Dale Jr. Waiting for him to make a mistake. Gragson runs a little wide. Jr. runs a little wide. Gragson a little bit wider than what Jr. went there. Jr. gains a little bit of that time back using the little excess curbing, excess pavement wherever he can to his advantage to try and pull away from Gragson more and more. It's really good through turn 1. That's where Jr. took the lead on the opening lap. Granted, they weren't up to speed at that point, but really able to take advantage of it. King, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're pretty good on damage. Gragson tried the bump and run in turn 3 on lap number 4, but we're good outside of that. Already lap 6 in this race. These stages are not very long on these road courses for any series, so playoff point on the line here. Now, we do know they're long enough at Mid-Ohio that these drivers will have to pit before the end of stage 1. Might see some pit strategy. Caution. Well, that's interesting. Caution's out. First time today, and it's only on lap 6. These guys might be able to make it on fuel now. It was going to be close there. They were about 4 laps short. They're going to run 4 laps under caution. See, Chase Briscoe is going to hit pit road here from the 5th position. You don't want to give up that track position. Again, these guys might be able to make it on fuel to the end of the stage now. It's going to be close with the 4 caution laps. Who I think is going to win the championship? Yeah, I'll save that for my predictions video this week. I'm not entirely sure right now either with Harvick out of it, because I'm still kind of stunned at the fact that he's not in it, and he was my pick, my prediction at least, so I'm not entirely sure right now. I didn't really have a backup plan for if he didn't make it, so I'll have to keep thinking about it over the next couple days, keep looking at track history, Phoenix, because all of them, I mean, there's a solid argument for all 4 of those guys that they can win it. Even if they don't win the race, as far as beating each other for the championship, yeah, I mean, there's a strong argument for all of them. They've all had either recent success at that track or that style of racetracks, so definitely. Austin Cindric, a guy to look out for in today's race, has jumped up to 3rd all of a sudden. And now with that caution, everything getting bunched back together. I'll have to see how this is going to go. This is the first of many road course races for the Xfinity Series schedule this year. Of course, still got to go to Watkins Glen, Road America, the Indianapolis road course on this season. In the playoffs, we go to the Charlotte Roval, so a lot of playoff races still to go. Look at Gragson running wide, and that was a bad idea. He was trying to set up Junior. That's going to allow Cindric to get alongside of him now for 2nd. Oh, man, they almost made contact off the final corner there. 10 laps to go, stage number 1 already at Mid-Ohio. And that's despite a caution. They are side by side for 2nd and slowing each other down a ton with the side drafting that is going on back there. That's allowing Junior to get away. He's now got about a 2 to 2.5 second lead. Advantage goes to Cindric though in turn number 2, and he's going to clear him. No, wow, Jeremy Clements jumped up there. Where did Clements come from? But he's back up to 2nd, and that's going to slow down Gragson and Cindric a little more too. We saw Clements up to 2nd place earlier, but he just couldn't close on Junior. And that's what Junior wants to see, a 3 to 4 car battle for 2nd place back there. And the 2nd and 3rd faster cars, or maybe even faster cars than him, we don't know for sure because they haven't had the clean air advantage yet. Junior leading every lap up to this point, despite qualifying 3rd. We'll have to see. Yeah, the recent success, Denny Hamlin won there last year at Phoenix. Joey Logano obviously won there this year, so there's the argument for those 2 guys. Chase Elliott's been close a couple times, and Brad Keselowski's been probably the best driver on the 750 flat racetracks this year, kind of like Phoenix, because he won at New Hampshire and Richmond in dominant performances. So, yeah, I mean, there's a strong argument. That's basically the argument for all 4 drivers. Big bounce off the curb that kind of sends Junior wide off of turn 2. But Jeremy Clements still in 2nd, kind of driving away from Gragson and Cindric, who were side by side for 3rd back there. Ryan Sieg's jumped up to the top 5 and 5th. That's what Junior wants to see, though, is those guys battle really hard like they are. These tires could get very worn out before the end of the stage yet as well. I mean, yeah, it is. for sure, it is a little different. It's a lot different from New Hampshire, but as far as them just being flatter short tracks, Keselowski's won on them with this package. It's the only reason I grouped them into the same category. Richmond is pretty similar to Phoenix. It's not identical by any means, but that's about as close to Phoenix as you're going to get racetrack-wise in NASCAR is going to be Richmond. Even the banking's pretty similar, at least turns 3 and 4 at Phoenix compared to the banking at Richmond. 1 and 2 is unlike any other corner really in NASCAR. Then obviously the dog leg on the front stretch too, but and it's the same length as New Hampshire, 1 mile. So as far as the straightaway speed goes, bringing the same race car, so we'll see. Five-second lead now. Gregson, who is in third, ahead of Cindric still, is now caught back up to Clements, but they are 5 seconds off the lead from Dale Jr., and that's what Jr. wants to see. We know Gregson is faster, or fast enough to at least catch Jr., and now Gregson's jumped up to second place, so he got around Clements a lot quicker that time, but he's 5.5 seconds. If Jr. doesn't make a mistake, we'll have to just wait, see, and find out for ourselves here. I'll get in the curbing there that time. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago Keselowski won a championship though. 2012. It's insane. 8 years ago? It does not feel like 8 years ago. I feel like I remember it like it was within the last 3 or 4 years for some reason. So when that left front tire gets down to 30% tire wear, it is going to be tough for Dale Jr. just to hang on to his race car. 6 laps to go in stage 1. I mean, it is almost to that point. I bet by the end of the lap it will be to that point. And as far as fuel goes, they are right on the border of being able to make it on fuel. Pit road does close with 2 laps to go in the stage. Situation though for Junior too, he could short pit to the end of the stage so he can get that track position back. Obviously he'd be sacrificing all of his stage points, but he does have a big regular season championship lead too. Although you don't want to give up points really at all. You never know if that could come back to haunt you, but at the same time, it looks like he might be about a half a lap short on fuel. That left front tire is down to 30% tire wear now too. Now we could get another caution. If that happens with 4 laps or less to go in the stage, then this stage will come to an end under that set yellow. Yep, Dale Jr. has led every lap so far up to this point. 15 laps complete at the line, 5 laps to go, stage 1. And Noah Gragson, since jumping up to second place, has not closed in on the lead at all. Cindric, meanwhile, third, followed by Annette, and then Clements has fallen back to 5th. So Junior's got a big lead, but his tires are starting to get pretty worn out, so don't be surprised if Gragson tries to make a run at Junior with those worn out tires. And how far behind is Chase Briscoe? Remember, Briscoe is the only driver to hit pit road under that caution back at lap 6. He can definitely make it to the end on fuel. But battling back with the backmarker cars and having to restart behind literally everybody on that restart has to have cost him a lot of time compared to Junior, who has had nothing but clean air since the restart. So we'll see how that is going to play into effect here. Can he cycle back ahead of him? It's not a very long pit road at this track. And this track, on the other hand, is pretty long. Or can anybody make it on fuel to the end of the stage as well? Is there somebody that can save enough gas to win the stage that is already ahead of Briscoe and won't be caught by him in the next couple laps as well? 4 laps to go now, stage 1. Gregson Jr. about even again that last lap. And 22% tire wear on the left front. So again, Junior has lost a little grip, but he's not losing a lot of time. Not yet, at least. Pretty good through turn 2. It could be Gregson. Yes, Gregson and Cindric are still battling hard for second. That is probably another reason why they're still not gaining on Junior, despite Junior's tires getting pretty worn out. Cindric has just jumped up to second place off of turn 2 now. And we'll see if Cindric can give Junior a run for his money in the stage. Oh, Junior got really loose that time in turn 4. Big loose moment. Yeah, that car is really starting to have a little bit of a tailspin now. Those guys aren't closing in on him at all, though. It's going to be a really tough decision. Oh, man, Junior in the wall slightly. And yeah, he's coming to pit road now. He does not want to risk wrecking it in stage 1. Junior going to short pit the stage and pit from the lead. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. That is a little bit of a tough break there. 3 laps to go now in stage 1. Pit road will be closed next time by. Or, well, not closed for the leader, I guess. And anybody who comes after that, so we'll see how that's going to work. So Junior going to short pit here. And the only thing that could bite him if a caution came out, and we'll see if he could still cycle ahead. And I believe the caution is out. Caution is out to end stage 1, and what a tough break for Junior, because he had that stage 1 if he just would have stayed out about an extra 20 to 30 seconds. And that was the risk, and he does not get a single stage point because he will be scored 11th at the timing of the yellow. Wow. He will be first off of pit road. Well, he won't have to pit, so he will restart from the lead. Chase Briscoe got up to 20th, but he'll pit now too. Wow, what a tough break. Gregson loses a spot on pit road there. Cindric will gain a spot. So Cindric wins the race off pit road. Green flag back in the air. Junior will leave the field to the green for stage 2. So Austin Cindric rather. No, I think Gregson got around him. So yeah, Noah Gregson, sorry for that. Noah Gregson will win stage 1 at Mid-Ohio. Stage 2 now underway. Well, that's one way for Junior to start losing a gap on that regular season championship lead. Still big. At least everybody's on equal tires. Those are the only laps he has not led in this race. Cindric is there. Boy, he drove it in deep. Him and Junior both got through that corner really well. Cindric kind of using the curving there in turn 4. A little smoke coming out of the back of Gregson's car. He had a lot of rear wheel spin off of turn 4. So we'll see. First time Cindric's really had a shot to take the lead. Really good on these road courses. Arguably the best driver in the Xfinity series on the road courses. Junior a little wide there. Cindric couldn't quite drive it in deep enough to get under him, though. That was close. Oh, my goodness. Junior almost overran the final corner. So 2 cautions back at stage 1 already. 8 people watching currently right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here on a Monday evening. Cindric really hooked the curbing well that time. He drove it in there really deep. And now he's in the draft of Dale Jr. Jr. trying to break the draft. Goes back high to kind of arc the corner off a little bit better. I mean, it's tough to tell exactly, but I think Cindric might have a faster car than what Dale Jr.'s got. It could just be the driver, too. Definitely a possibility there as well. And Junior not really known for racing well at road courses in his NASCAR career, but Cindric, on the other hand, in his young career, does have that experience and that prowess. Who do I think's the worst one of the 4 at Phoenix? I really don't know, honestly. Like, it is that close, I think, between all 4 of them, of who is the worst. I'd say the worst this season, Joey Logano, but at the same time, one of his 3 wins was at Phoenix this year, so I don't know. I really don't know. It could be... That's probably the one I'm least confident about, but at the same time, they have been running well. That last round, they got a win. They had a good run, finished 3rd at Martinsville. And in Texas, I think they had a good run too and finished in the top 10. So yeah, I mean, they've been strong. I really don't know who's the worst of the 4. I don't think there's a clear-cut worse. I think it's almost even across the board, to be quite honest. I think Hamlin's kind of limped his way in. I guess you could say Denny Hamlin. But then again, I mean, he's good at that style of racetrack too. And again, he won Phoenix last year. Yeah, I really don't know if there's like a clear driver you could say is the worst. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Junior accidentally downshifted the first gear there. It didn't really look like it costed him much though. Cindric's just really fast. Just kind of waiting for Junior to make a mistake, and that's something Junior just has not done at all today. Maybe say the call to bring it onto pit road was a mistake, and it costed him... It didn't cost him track position, but it costed him a chance, obviously, not only to win the stage, but he didn't get a single stage point out of it in stage 1, despite leading the first 16 laps of the race. Michael Annette, by the way, up to 3rd, got around Noah Gragson. Jr. runs it hard. Ran it in about as deep as Cindric, just not as smooth as him. Cindric really arcing his corners off a lot better than Junior outside of turn 3 where he's driving it in a heck of a lot deeper, but he's making it work too. Junior pulls away a little bit entirely that last lap, but Lucas, welcome to the stream. Really means a lot there, Lucas. Thanks. So we got Austin Cindric. There you go. Again, turn 3 and 4. It's just where he gains the most ground. Turn 6 and 7, though, Junior really pulled back away from Cindric again. Just kind of a game of cat and mouse right now. None of these two are missing their marks at all. Despite having maybe a little different entries in specific corners. I mean, these guys are just flat out going toe-to-toe here. Still 15 laps to go, stage 2. We still got a decent ways to go in the race. And as we get down to crunch time at the very end, you're going to find out who the better driver today really is. So far, no mistakes, but it's going to be the driver that makes the mistake first to give the other one the advantage. That's going to be the difference maker when the time comes. Junior starting to run a lot harder into turn 2, and I think that's where he's really able to minimize the amount of time Cindric's gaining per lap. Junior's kind of pulled back out ahead of him just a little bit more. Quite a bit more, to be completely honest. Almost a second and a half ahead of him. About as big of a lead as he's had here in stage 2. Back to third, Michael Annett, 5.5 seconds back. So these top 2 cars are showing that they are the 2 fastest today. But we don't really know what order that they are the fastest. Junior looks like he's a lot faster in stage 2 than what he was in stage 1. And it could just be the amount of practice he's getting. The more laps, the quicker he is getting corner by corner. Andrew Hollenbach, welcome to the stream. Also, Meese, welcome to the stream as well. BLS, welcome to the stream also. Yeah, I mean, I'm good on the road courses on NASCAR Heat games. I haven't raced the Indy road course at all yet. I haven't taken a single lap there, so I might struggle when we get to that race, just because I don't have any laps on it. I know the track somewhat. There's probably a couple corners I got to refamiliarize myself with, but 2 seconds is now the difference between first and second. Again, that is the largest lead. Now, also, it seems like Junior's taking care of his tires a lot better than what he did in stage 1. So how he's able to do that and increase his lead goes to show how fast he is today. Don't forget, he did qualify third, although, but he was the fastest in session 1. He did have the capability of keeping up at least with the 2 that ended up starting on the front row. Lap time was just a tenth or 2 behind them. And Gregson looks like he's got a decent amount of the same speed, but for Justin Allgaier, he has taken a step back from where he was in qualifying. $14 people watching currently right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here on a Monday evening. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We've got daily NASCAR content. These full race live streams with a realistic broadcast for NASCAR video games are the headline of it daily, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy the stream tomorrow because we have NASCAR Thunder 2004 coming back to the channel again, the 6th race of our Cup Series season there. But most importantly, it is the Aaron's 499 at Talladega. So that'll be a fun race. That is for sure. Start time for that one will be right at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so tune in for it. And again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast on the daily. This is the start of my broadcast career, my commentary career, to hopefully one day broadcast and commentate real NASCAR races at the track in the future. So follow me on the young journey. Instagram is also down in the description below, so follow me there if you haven't already. Trying to grow that to help the channel out. And again, Patreon is up. I don't have the URL on here yet. I'm still working on that, but starting that off as well. Oh, jeez. I was looking at the chat too much there. Took a left-handed turn when I was supposed to go right. That's going to cost Junior a little bit of time. It wasn't a big mistake, though, so. I think he made more of a mistake in qualifying than what he's made up to this point in the race, and we're 30 laps in. And a stage and a half in the books as well, might I add. Tom Brady, welcome to the stream. Big bounce off the curb. Cindric's closed in. He's now a second and a half behind Junior. Junior's tire is not quite worn out to this point. Ooh. I mean, let's be honest. Just knowing you guys are on my young journey here, how cool would it be if you're like, I remembered this guy when he was first starting out. NASCAR video game live streams on YouTube every night with this guy. You gotta start somewhere, and this is where I'm starting, so. Cindric is still closing the gap. He's now 1 second off the race lead. Lap traffic is coming up as well, as cross flags will be in the air for stage number 1. This time by... The left front's not... I mean, the tires aren't worn out on Junior's car. Cindric's just been faster the last 3 laps all of a sudden after he fell about 2.5 seconds off the lead. And now the lap car, first of the day for Junior, is Joe Graff Jr. Oh, a little contact. He couldn't clear him in turn 1. And here comes Cindric now to capitalize. Not quite. Junior's going to get around him. Cindric quickly around the outside before getting into turn 2. Junior runs a little wide. Cindric still trying to clear the 08. Big bounce off the curb by the 8 car. Look at Michael Annett now, just 3.5 seconds off the lead in third. Starting to run down the top 2 as well. Still no mistakes for Junior to give up the lead, but that was the opportunity I think Cindric had to pounce there. We'll see if he'll get any more chances in the lap traffic in the coming laps. You can see a couple more cars. That's CJ McLaughlin, Chad Fincham. The next 2 lap cars right ahead of Junior. A little bit of contact definitely costing him time, but then Cindric struggled to get around the 08 as well. He didn't make contact with him like Junior did, but that wasn't very pretty either. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream. Junior had to check up big time behind McLaughlin. Shoots the gap now to get under him. As well underneath the Fincham. Can he clear the 13 car? He's trying to desperately, but he couldn't do it. He will get around the 93 of McLaughlin. Now to the inside of Fincham. He'll get around him in turn 1. Cindric on the outside of McLaughlin in the 93. Still got Fincham to get through. Now he crosses over to get around Fincham. Or at least get alongside of him. He's going to have to go outside into turn 2. That's the long way around. But he got it done. He outbraked him. Oh, we got trouble up here. We've got somebody smoking down the long straightaway of the racetrack. Huge trail of smoke going off into turn 3. I think somebody has blown an engine. I don't think it's a tire. They look like they're under control. It is Landon Castle in the 89. Look at how deep Cindric is going. Castle in the way as Junior gets around the outside of him in turn 4. Cindric was able to get to the inside. Costed both of them a little bit of time. Left front down to 28% tire wear now for Dale Jr. It's getting good. Oh no, Junior, about as wide as he has gone today. Cindric looking for his first lead of the day. They almost made contact, and Cindric with a clean pass in the final set of corners. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think we've kind of mentioned that a little bit. There, Andrew. What a small world that would be, though. It is a smaller world than what most people think after all, though, so I can't rule anything out of the question. Austin Cindric now trying to get around Austin Hill here. Cindric leading his first lap of the race, the last lap, but he struggled. And, oh man, Junior tried to squeeze into a spot where there was just no room in between the 22 and the 61. And Cindric now caught behind the 78 of Vinnie Miller. Big run by Dale Jr. Looked to go to the inside. He couldn't do it, though. Oh man, just drilled the back of the 78 of Vinnie Miller, who runs into the 22 of Austin Cindric. Junior takes it 3 wide. It gets right back to the lead. So Junior back to the lead one way or another there. 7 laps to go in stage 2. I think he's committed to wanting to stay out as long as he can. He pitted early last time and it costed him a ton. He not only didn't win the stage, but he also didn't score a single stage point. He does not want to do that again. Billy Kramer, welcome. Saw you in the chat a little bit ago. Oh, big bounce. Off the curb, Cindric had a big bounce too. Junior tried to cross him over, but he doesn't have the grip in the race car. Oh man, big slide. Once again, caution. And that's going to bail out Junior big time because he lost a ton of time to Cindric there. Caution will fly. It wasn't for Junior going wide. I don't know what it was for. We had a car smoking a couple laps ago. So this is going to make a shootout now to the end of the stage all of a sudden. Junior not going to repair the damage. Try to have a quick stop. 4 fresh tires. He was contemplating bringing it to pit road. So that was a big time for there to be a caution. I think Harvick's got that question a little bit earlier in the stream, and you can make a strong argument for all 4 drivers with the recent success that they've had at the racetrack. So yeah, it's really tough to tell exactly right now, to be completely honest. I'll have it by the time the predictions video comes out when I can do a lot more research on it going into the week, but off the top of my head right now, early in the week, I have 0 clue. Big advantage for Austin Cindric, restarting from the lead right there. Junior trying to dive it in deep into turn 2. Down to the curbing. On the curbing, Cindric gave him 0 room right there. Cindric wants the playoff point here as we are late in the stage after our 3rd caution of the race. Cindric's been a lot better in turn 3, so Junior's going to have to gain some sort of time here. He didn't gain time, but he didn't lose time either. Cindric having the clean air advantage right now. This is going to make it a lot harder for Junior to get around him, especially trying to make a clean pass. Oh, Junior went way wide that time. There is the first minor mistake of the early going of this green flag run. 3 laps to go this time by. Cindric is just pulled away from Junior. Junior's really good in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can gain that time back. And he needs to before they get to turns 3 and 4. Cindric might pull away again. Not close enough to get a draft off of him. Big bounce off the curb. Junior drove it in hard. Austin Cindric could be the guy to beat here today. Got past in the final couple corners before that caution came out. Finished second back at stage 1. Noah Gragson won the opening stage. Gragson is currently in 4th place right now. Junior's car is just really tight right now. He just can't get through the corners and get as hard on the brakes as he was earlier. Can't count him out yet, but it's going to be tough to gain this much time. Two laps to go, stage 2 this time by. Junior's pushing hard. He lost 0.2 of a second that last lap. Could have lost more. He actually gained a lot of time those finishing corners. He also gained more time there in turn 1. So right back to about 8 car lengths back. Hard into the braking zone here in turn number 2. Both drivers really, really well through turn 2 that time. And we'll see. Junior's going to have to outbrake him in turn 2. And that's just something he has struggled with all day today. Well, he didn't outbrake him. They were pretty even again. Junior actually gained a little time there through turn 4. 5, they're even again. 6. Into this hard 90 coming up now, turn 8. Junior gains a little bit of time there through the middle portion of the racetrack. Don't count him out yet. We come into the white flag this time by for stage number 2. Playoff point on the line. Oh, Junior gained a ton there. Man, he drove it in deep. One more lap. Oh, Cindric kind of spun the tires a little bit. Junior to the outside. To the lead into turn 1. How did he come back from that as quickly as he did? Now he's got to hold on. Cindric's best corners are coming up. And he's right behind him. Junior has not sealed the deal yet. And don't count Michael Annett out. Oh, big bounce off the curb. Junior goes wide. Cindric peeks to the inside. Junior throws the block. And here comes Michael Annett. 1.5 seconds back. As this battle for the lead has gotten more intense here on the final lap of the second stage. Cindric drives it in deep, gets alongside of the 8 car. Now trying to cross him over in turn 4. Couldn't do it. More of these two get alongside of each other. Again, there is Michael Annett in the 1, waiting in the wings for something to happen. Junior got stage 1 taken away from him. He's not going to let it happen again in stage 2. 4 more turns to go. Now 2 more corners, and Cindric, oh man, he was right there. 1 more turn. Not going to get him this time. Dale Jr. wins stage 2, followed by Cindric, Annett, Gragson. I think Brandon Brown snuck into the top 5. Yes, he did. Followed by Jones, Sieg, Chastain, Briscoe, and Hemrick, your top 10. And they will all get stage points in stage 2. That will leave just 35 laps to go for the final stage of the race. I honestly don't think anything's going to happen. I'd honestly be shocked if they overturn that call. I don't think anything's going to happen. We've seen it before. This is a lot different than the MWR situation back in 2012. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to come out of it. How crucial are tires here when we only have 4 laps on our tires? Everybody will top off on fuel as well, hitting pit road at the stage break. And Junior wins the race off of pit road. So here we go.
Coming to the green.
Green flag will be back in the air. 1 stage remaining here at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. 32 laps of green flag action left at least. Never know about overtime anymore. Junior just holding on to that clean air advantage. That was a big restart by the 18. Getting the jump. It all started after winning that race off of pit road. And that able to hold on to third. Top 4 positions all stayed the same. Ryan Sieg jumped up to 5th on the restart. And Annette started to show some strengths there at the end of the stage. What kind of car is he going to have for this final stage? Remember, he was the only junior motorsport car, or at least one of the junior motorsport cars that did not qualify in the top 3 today, but he is showing some speed over the course of this race. And we have not even seen Allgaier since he qualified 2nd at the beginning. He's pretty much been a non-factor. Oh, Junior really wide. Wow, barely kept it on the track. Wide again. Here comes Cindric. Still couldn't make the move. Oh man, Michael Annette just about ran into the back of the 22 of Austin Cindric. Big bounce off the curb. Junior goes wide off of turn 1. Cindric to the lead. Annette couldn't capitalize. He's still back in 3rd. And again, later into this race, more mistakes have been being made. Junior starting to gain a slight bit of that time back again. Oh my goodness. Saw how loose that 22 of Cindric got. Bouncing off the curb. Couldn't pull back away. Been a fun battle up to this point in the race today. Between the 22 and the 8. Cindric right there. He's going to try to make him pass him around the outside. Junior looks low into turn 1. Drove it in really deep. Bounces off the curb and bounces into Cindric. Trying to stay on the corner panel, and he does. And now he side drafts him right back. And he clears Cindric into turn 2. Cindric trying to get back to the gas a little sooner by letting out earlier. Couldn't do it. Dale Jr. back to the lead. A heavyweight battle between the 8 and the 22. Pretty much since the start of the 2nd stage. The 1 and the 9 are right there as well. The top 4 within a 2.5 seconds of the lead. Some close racing. Yeah, the worst part about being a Packers fan watching the game on Sunday too is that the guy I was facing in my fantasy league as well this week also held Dalvin Cook, so that it was just adding insult to injury. It was not a good week for me. Oh wow, car just did not downshift to 2nd gear that time. Michael Annett jumps up to second place, and now he has gotten around Austin Cindric. This is as far up through the running order as Annett has been today. Can he try to run his teammate down for the lead? Teammate and team owner, might I add. Or is he going to hold up Cindric? The next lap or two, whether or not Annett's going to really be able to make a run after Junior. He didn't close in turn 2 as much as, say, Cindric has today, so just going to have to wait on it. And that one car is really sliding around a lot, too. Big bounce off the curb back in turn 8. Junior 0.2 of a second faster that last lap. Oh, lap car just came off of pit road right in front of Cindric, and that's going to cost him a lot of time too. Oh, Junior hard in the braking zone and into the sand. Overruns the corner. Michael Annett to the lead, but because of the lap car getting in Cindric's way, Cindric is still in third. That is as bad as we have seen the 8 car miss a corner here today. With less than 30 laps to go, nonetheless. Big bounce off the curb. Cindric looking to strike for second. So Michael Annett has the capability of leading his first lap of the race this time by. One second off the lead, so that was a 1 second swing, really. Or like a 2 second swing, because Michael Annett was a second off the lead at the line last time, and he had a 1 second lead on Junior that time at the line. It's just so hard to pass on these road courses and these stock cars. A lot easier if you can put the bumper to them, but we have seen that a couple times back and forth today. You saw Gregson on lap 4 try to do it on Junior. Cindric and Junior were also going at it there as well, but Michael Annett made it happen clean. Junior just ran into turn 2 way too wide. Junior's pushing really hard right now. He's not gaining any time on Michael Annett, and that's one thing too. Annett's been getting faster over the course of the day, but this is the first time he's had the clean air. His car's probably handling better than what it has all day on top of its speed. Car can just be so much tighter when you're tucked in behind another car, even if you're not directly behind them. It's good down the straightaways to try and get a draft, but as soon as you get into the corner, it's just so much harder to get the car to actually steer. Caden, welcome to the stream. Wow, Junior really, he's doing everything he can right now. I mean, it's just not good enough. And we saw kind of how much the one car was sliding around when he wasn't in the lead. Now he's gotten in the lead, it just seems like he's hitting his marks. He's not sliding the car at all. Really rolling through the corners really well. Jackson Pittner, welcome. Big run through turn 1 that time. Junior now is close enough to be in the draft of Michael Annette. Ran the same line in turn 2, pushes up the track a little bit. And that allows Annette to get the power down. Can Junior stay in the draft down the longest straightaway of the racetrack? He is. Now has to outbrake the one car. He did. Gains a little bit of time there in turn 3. Turn 4 as well. Mari P, welcome to the stream. This is really close battle all of a sudden. Junior is pulled right in on the one car. He is right on his back bumper. Now the one gets a little sideways off that final corner. Junior looks low into turn 1. Going for the home run. Bounces off the curb right into the side of the one. Much like he did with Cindric a handful of laps ago. I mean, don't look now. We only have 24 laps to go. This race is flying by. 3 early cautions, and that has pretty much been it as far as that goes. That got off of turn 2 a lot better than Dale Jr. did that time. Now he's got to try to gain all of it back in the second half of this lap. One car bottomed out over the curbing that time. And Junior's right there for the taking. Oh, contact. Pick and choose what is the right and perfect area to try and pass around this track. Again, not that many passing lanes. One of the tighter road courses in really all 3 of the top series in NASCAR. I'd say this and Road America are probably right there with the smallest in width from one side of the racetrack to the other. Both of them sliding there off the final corner. Junior right in line again behind him. Again looks to the inside. Trying to make a clean pass on his teammate if he can. That time he used the curbing really well. He hit it with the right side tires instead of the left. Kind of helped him turn the race car as they go back and forth into turn 2. Dale Jr. now to the lead. Austin Cindric still 2 seconds back. Annette trying to fight, trying to get to the corner panel. He almost did. It's the 3rd lap in a row. He's gotten off of turn 2 a lot better than the 8 car ahead of him.
Left side. Clear left. Left side. All right, you're clear.
Same spot now that he was back in before, the one trying to get around the 8. It's been a little bit. Hopefully he didn't get too used to the car handling the way it was. Now he's got to be up on the steering wheel again. 22 in the 9, also closing in. Cindric and Gregson once again. Top 4 within 2 seconds of the lead. We have at least one more pit stop left the rest of this race. And lap traffic is also coming up here. Probably by the end of this current lap that we just started. Lap 54. Yes, this is Mid-Ohio.
Right side.
Wow, the one car really hugged the curbing very well. Junior just beats him back to the gas though. Trying to pass his teammate clean. this is the last lap of the race. It might be a different story, but still got a little bit of time left. Not a lot, though. And it might be a fight to try and get to the lead before you hit the pits. Again, these guys can only go maybe an extra 5 laps on fuel, and that's about it. And now Joe Graff Jr. again is in the way of the 8 car. Finally gets around him, costed him a couple corners. And now the 08's in the way of the 1. Look how much Jr. was able to gap there, those 2 to 3 corners. Michael Annett stuck behind him. And that has allowed Cindric to get to the back bumper of the 1. Cindric looks low now for second place. And Noah Gragson stuck behind the 08. And Annett barely able to fend off Cindric. And hold on to second. More lap traffic still to come. 21 to go. I have not been to this track, despite it being in my home state. I plan on going to the Xfinity race next year at Mid-Ohio. That's the one thing that stopped me from going. If the Cup Series raced here, I guarantee you I'd be here every year like I am at Michigan. But I just haven't been able to make it out yet. But I do plan on going there next year. I think they're running early June. And there's really no other... I think the week before I'd be at Charlotte for the Coke 600, but that would give me plenty of time, and it's only a 2-hour drive, so it's not even long to get down to here. Junior trying to make as quick of work as possible around the lap traffic, as he has so far. We don't know if we're going to get another caution yet today as well. Again, we had 3 of them in the first 35 laps, but we have not had one for incidents since. Again, that's not counting the stage break. Ooh, Junior with a big slide that time. Now around the outside of the 61. 20 laps left. 2.5 second lead. About as thinned out as things have been here in the final stage. Biggest lead we've seen out of Junior in the final stage. Gregson's lost a lot of ground behind the 2 cars ahead of him now. He's 8 seconds off the lead as well, so he's really lost a lot of time. The 8 of Junior, his tires are starting to get worn out quite a bit, and his lap times are really going to drastically fall off here over the next couple of laps until he hits pit road. But they're not within the window to make it on one more stop. He has to at least stay out another lap or 2. At least. These guys can only go about 17 to 18 laps on fuel. We'll have 19 to go this time by, so he'll probably even have to stay out at least one more lap after this. And Michael Annett now starting to run down Junior again. Junior's really sliding the tires quite a bit. Not able to get to the gas as soon as he wants. Yeah, Byron got into the playoffs. He won at Daytona in the regular season finale. Got his first career win. Yeah, I don't have a pick yet for the Championship 4, by the way. I've gotten that a few times already. So kind of stay tuned to the predictions video this week. I'll have my final take on that. For the prediction side of it, of course. Junior's just not getting through these corners very well right now, and he is stuck behind Vinnie Miller in the 78. Charges to the inside and now finally gets around the 78 car. Oh, and he just drills him back in the side, and that's because Annett took it 3 wide. What a move by Michael Annett. 3 wide underneath Miller. I was wondering why Miller got back in the side of the 8 car, and now the caution flies with 19 laps to go. Our 4th caution of the race. Right after Michael Annett takes the lead, so that will give Annett an advantage now coming to pit road for what could be the final time today. So just 15 laps to go. It's going to be fun. And Junior actually jumps Annett on pit road, so Junior, despite losing the lead there, will still restart from the lead. Green flag back in the air. Just 15 laps remain at Mid-Ohio following the 4th caution of the race. Good restart. Didn't even drive it in deep that time. Just stayed right in front of the 1. Did his job. There might not be any more give or take now. Well, there will be a lot of give. There just won't be a lot of take. Other way around. There will be a lot of take, not a lot of give. Junior leads into turn 3. Ooh, and that drove it in really hard. Gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Trying to get around him clean. Got alongside of him there, but Junior's able to fend him off. I don't know who to be more intimidated by, the 22 or the 1. The 1 has really shown how strong he could be in this final stage all of a sudden. Well, we know Cindric's been fast all night. So we know what he's capable of. Really what all 3 of the top 3 are capable of. Gregson, despite starting on the pole, has not led more than 1 lap under green, and that was the final lap of the stage when the caution came out. So that is it, but Gregson did at least win a stage. Junior goes a little wide, and here comes Annett. What a move on the outside in the final corner to take the lead. Did not expect that to be one of the passing zones around this racetrack, but Annett made it pay off. And Michael Annett will get to the lead. A clean pass nonetheless, side by side for 3rd. Gregson and Cindric. Gregson should have the advantage. No. Cindric clears him. Junior drives it in hard to the outside of the 1. Maybe trying to cross him over on corner exit, but he couldn't get the drive that he wanted to get back underneath him. See if Junior can make it another lead change back the line. He's looking to drive it in deep on the bottom of the track. Annett shuts the door on him at the last second. Junior was committed to driving it in deep that time. Annett saw it, made the move to throw the block, but Junior is right there. Little tap. Back bumper the 1. Ran just a little wide, but he's on his corner panel, and they're side by side for the lead again. Junior runs it in hard. Crossover by Annett, and he holds him off. Junior gets right back to him again, though. Not letting him get away. Cindric, who was able to hold on for 3rd, is right there. Oh, no! Contact! And the 8's in the wall. Cindric now is trying to get up to 2nd, and Junior barely fends him off. And you can see the desperation in these drivers all of a sudden, knowing that that could have been the final restart. It might be at that point where anything goes. Now Junior's going to have to try to run down the 1 of Annett again. First time we've seen Junior get in the wall today. Wasn't hard at all. It didn't really damage the car, but it definitely costed him quite a bit of time. Cindric is all over him. Cindric hasn't even been in 2nd place since Annett took 2nd place at the very beginning of this final stage. That was with just over 30 laps to go yet in the race. We'll have just 12 laps to go this time by. Really good in turn one. Junior's starting to gap Austin Cindric again. And he's slowly starting to catch back up, at least in certain corners on the one car. I mean, this thing is not over yet, but how long? I mean, you can't wait around. He's definitely not waiting, but... seen everybody today has tried to use the bumper. Annette's tried to use it at least once. Gregson has used it once, multiple times from Dale Jr. and Austin Cindric. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and there's nothing more desperate than the final 12 laps of the race like we're seeing right here, right now. It doesn't matter that this is still the regular season, and we still have half the regular season to go until the playoffs. You never know if these 5 points can come back to haunt either one of these two drivers if they don't get the playoff points today. There's one for Annette. He's looking for his first win of the year. He's still looking for a spot to lock himself into the playoffs. So you know he's not going to want to give up the lead, and the same goes for Cindric and Gregson, who have been close a couple times this year to winning and haven't found victory lane yet. This is as close as Annette has been through the first dozen races. 11 to go. He's leading. Junior, though, starting to close back in on him again. Ooh, big bounce off the curb. Junior drove it in deep. And that kind of gained a little bit of time, though. We have seen some great races on the channel here at at Mid-Ohio. Whether it is NASCAR Heat 4 or NASCAR Heat 5, we've had some really solid races, and this is shaping up to be another wild finish that we have seen at this racetrack on the channel before. Think back to last year's race here. The regular season race for the Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 5. When we did Season 1, battling hard with Cindric, got in a crash with about 20 laps to go. Knocked us out of the race. There was a hard battle for the lead at that time, and the top two wiped each other out. Cindric came back to win it, to take back the points lead nonetheless. So now, much different situation here. Not as tight of a regular season points battle, but a win is a win. And we have just 10 laps to go this time by for Michael Annett. Junior is close, but I don't think he's quite within striking distance to make a pass yet. Well, he thinks he is. He looks to the inside into turn one. He raced him clean there. He didn't allow the curbing to knock him into the one that time. Both drivers bouncing off the curb. The one a little more than the 8, but still Annett beats Junior back to the gas. I mean, once Junior gets alongside of the 8 car, that will bring the 22 and the 9 back into it again. And how about Chase Briscoe is up to 5th? We haven't talked about him really at all today. He pitted under that first yellow, lost a lot of track position, and all of a sudden he is back inside the top 5. 4.5 seconds off the race lead. Might need another caution to catch the leaders unless they start racing side by side, which isn't impossible either. Junior looks to the inside. A little bit more contact again. And Annett holds on. And a little bit more time gained now from Cindric. He closed in a couple tenths. I mean, Junior's right there. Big bounce off the curb. Annett gains a little time again. 9 laps to go at Mid-Ohio now. I guess this would technically be my home track for the Xfinity Series, but man, oh man, is this shaping up to be a close one. Junior drives it hard into turn 2. Maybe not as hard as he could have. He's gotten some slack. He wants to pass Annett clean, but if it comes down to the last couple laps and he is still right here, he's got to use the bumper. And something else you got to think about too, the quicker he gets around him, the quicker he has a chance to pull away. Because those tires are going to wear out again by the end of the run, and that is where we have seen him lose the lead to Cindric and Annett today, is when those tires get really worn out. And once he loses the lead, he was never able to get it back. The caution kind of bailed him out both times. Because otherwise he was just going to bring it to pit road and short pit. But now, it is not that kind of situation. Oh, big dive into the corner. Again, he gets alongside of him clean. He gets to the corner panel, but he can't stay there long enough to side draft him. And that pulls him again. Eight laps to go. You can see lap traffic could be a factor as well before the end of this race if we stay green long enough. These guys have been catching lap traffic anywhere between 11 to 13 laps into the run. And we had 15 to go when we went green, so they could very well catch lap traffic. It just depends on what kind of race pace these guys are going to have. Really, again, the top four are all right there. And Cindric has closed the gap on Junior over the last half a lap. He's now just a few car lengths back. Junior lost a little time at the end of the last lap and the beginning of this lap on a net as well, so Junior trying to haul him back down. The tires aren't worn out yet, so he should be able to run him back down. And we have seen it a couple times, but since Annette has taken the lead with 14 to go, Junior has not been able to get back to the lead. Game of inches. Right now, Junior's using every inch of this racetrack. Cindric almost got under Junior. Junior ran maybe a little too wide there, but luckily the 22 didn't get alongside of him. That would have slowed him down quite a bit. Hard on the brakes into turn two, trying to outbrake Michael Annette. Annette bottomed out off the curbing that time. That might have cost him just a slight bit of time, not much, but that's all that matters. Every little gain or slip up is so much, especially with less than 10 to go. Junior trying to gain time as he ran a little too wide there, and he lost whatever time he gained over the couple corners before that. He just lost it. Just like that. Over the course of the lap, Dale Jr. gained 1/10 of a second gain that last lap there. 6 laps to go now. Junior drives it in really deep into turn one, maybe a little too deep. He still gains time. Now he's in the draft of Annette going into turn two. See if he can outbrake him here. He's going to try. A little wider entry, maybe trying to get a little clean air on top of it. Back into the draft on corner exit. That was a good corner off of turn two. And that's been beating him back to the gas a lot out of turn two, but that time Junior stayed right with him. They were pretty equal. And he is right there. But Annette outbreaks him into turn number 3. But a big hop off the curb. Both drivers trying to use the curbing to their advantages. That left front's getting really worn out on Dale Jr.'s car. Desperate to try and get to the lead as quick as he can now to have that advantage. Looks slow for the moment. Actually went down to first gear. Trying something new even late in the race. He's right there. Oh, he is all over him now. 5 laps to go at Mid-Ohio for Michael Annette. Junior looks low into turn 1. Oh, wheel hop by the 1 car. Junior's alongside of him, but Annette just able to throw the block and clear him right back. Junior drives it hard into turn 2, down to the bottom. Now he's underneath him. Off the curbing, trying to stay alongside of him. And Annette again is able to shut the door. Sydney Duncan, welcome to the stream. Late in the going here at Mid-Ohio. Lap traffic coming up. And that gains time in turn 3, but now it's stuck behind Joe Graff Jr. 3 wide to the bottom goes Dale Jr. trying to squeeze in there as they split the lap car. Side by side for the lead between Dale Jr., Michael Annett at Mid-Ohio. Jr. is going to take the lead again. Yes, he clears him. Cindric now caught behind the 08. And the 9 of Gregson has caught him. It is a 4-horse race. Coming to 4 laps to go this time by. If Junior leads at the line, it will be yet another lead change, and it is. And Junior's tires are pretty worn out, down to 30%. Low grip has not worked out at all for him today. Will it work out for him now? He's got the track position. Lap traffic is going to be a big factor as well. It's just so hard to pass on the road courses. The lap cars are going to try to get out of the way. They've done their best to get out of the way up to this point. But this track is just so narrow. Makes it even tougher. Sadia, welcome to the stream. This is where Annett gains the most time. Junior wants to outbrake Fincham here, and he gets around him pretty easily. So that's about as good as he could have done, but Annett just followed Junior right on by. Oh, he's still alongside of him. He hasn't cleared him yet. Junior backed up the corner, kind of holding up Annett. Now he gets around him. So, yeah, I mean, Annett still got around him fairly quick. Maybe not as quick as Annett wanted to get around him, but it was still pretty quick. And now CJ McLaughlin in 31st in the 93 car will be the next one. The Junior will have to catch. Junior going to get around him pretty quickly now. McLaughlin kind of gave him that bottom lane. 3 laps to go at Mid-Ohio. Just 3 laps left to decide the winner of the race. And again, that left front tire is going to really hurt. I know it's just the left front, but it's going to hurt Junior in every single one of these corners for these final 3 laps. It was hurting him last lap, but the lap traffic, he got around him quick enough. A little bit quicker than Annett. He was able to kind of... Junior has struggled on old tires all day today. He's got to be careful not to slide him. He's got to ease into the corners and not make a mistake. Problem is, I mean, it just doesn't matter at this point. One more mistake could cost you the race. Vinnie Miller, Austin Hill, the next 2 lap cars now right in front of the race leader, Dale Jr. Junior is just stuck behind him in Annett now, all over the back bumper of the 8 car. Junior shoots the gap to the inside of Austin Hill. He got around Vinnie Miller really easily. Oh, contact with Hill. Clears him, 2 laps to go. Oh, that was huge. There was a little contact there, but that was the desperate measure that Junior wanted to clear him as quickly as he could. Oh, big wheel spin going into turn 3. He was hard on the brakes there, and he almost overran the corner. Annett still struggling to get around Austin Hill. Junior out to a 2-second lead, but that doesn't mean anything. We still have over a lap and a half to go. Junior still has to take it easy enough to get through these corners. So far, so good. And Annett, after getting around Hill before they even got into turn 3, that was big for him. Big spin there. Wheel spin, that is, for Dale Jr. And Annett right back to the back bumper again. 2.5 seconds back to third place, Austin Cindric. For right now, it is a race between these two, and there's some contact. Junior trying to run him up the racetrack a little bit, and now Annette hits him right back. They are coming to the white flag this time. This will mean we have 1 lap to go. They are leaning on one another. Heavy contact to the white flag, and Annette takes the lead at the line. Junior hard on the brakes into turn 1. Slides back in front of him. And now here comes Cindric. These guys have been slowing each other up more now than ever before in this race. Cindric is back in it again. Don't count Gragson out in 4th. Junior slides the tires, hooks the curbing through turn 2. I think Annette beat him back to the gas, but he couldn't drive under him. Just over a half a lap remaining. Annette back alongside again. Oh, a little bit of contact. They run wide, 3 wide for the lead. Cindric trying to take him 3 wide. That leaves them now side by side for second. Oh my goodness, Junior barely fends them off. Cindric almost snookered both of them. Lap cars up ahead, but they will not be in the way likely to the finish. Annette able to hold on for second. Gragson side by side now for third. 3 quarters to go. Annette to the back bumper of Dale Jr. Can Jr. hold on to win it? Shot tires and all. Trying to hold the bottom. Has to hold it again. 1 corner to go. And then puts the bumper to him. And that makes Gragson up to second. Junior holds on to win it at Mid-Ohio. Gragson sneaks by to finish second. Michael Annette put the bumper to Junior in the final corner on the final lap. But it just wasn't enough. Wow. Junior holds on in a wild finish at Mid-Ohio. What a race. A 4-horse race in the last few laps after a long 15-lap green flag run. And a last lap pass for the win nonetheless for Dale Jr. as well. Remember, Annette led the second to last lap. And now blowing the engine in the victory celebration. That was crazy. Crazy finish to this race. We'll have to take a look at the replay of that one. Annette put the bumper to Dale Jr. in the final corner. And after the contact, that actually allowed Gragson to sneak by to finish second. I don't know how Gragson got around Cindric so quick to even get to Michael Annette, but he did. They just traded paint back and forth. Oh, I didn't look at the replay. My bad. Yeah, I can't go back to it. Oh, that sucks. Well, I guess I'll just have to watch it on my own after the stream. We'll take a look at the finishing results to this one. Dale Jr. with the win after winning stage 2 as well. So 6 playoff points there. Michael Annette finishes second. Gragson. Oh, wow. Okay, so Michael Annette still finished second place. I thought Gragson might have had second at the line. I guess he didn't. By 3 1/1000ths of a second, Michael Annette was able to hold on to second place. Gragson finished third. Austin Cindric fourth. Ryan Sieg rounds out the top 5 again. Gragson, your stage 1 winner as well. Chase Briscoe came back to finish 6th. Good run for him. Daniel Hemrick, quiet but solid day in 7th. Justin Haley 8th. Jeremy Clements fell all the way back to 9th. And Brandon Brown rounds out the top 10 here in this one. And we had 28 drivers finish on the lead lap today. 3 failed to finish. Mike Harmon, Landon Castle, and Justin Allgaier all DNF'd in today's race as well. What a race. Triple Boy 3, welcome to the stream as well. I did not choke it. I almost choked it, but not quite. That was crazy. Back and forth. Classic race on the channel once again. We've been having a lot of these over the last couple weeks. It's been pretty insane. And we go to Talladega tomorrow for NASCAR Thunder 2004, so we'll probably have another classic wild race again tomorrow. So we'll keep the trend of that going. Again, I'm doing the points myself. Because they did not save the Charlotte race from last week for the Xfinity series as well as the Cup series. So because they did not save, I'm calculating the points myself. I had to take it from that race. So I can assure you we have a pretty big points lead right now But that was your points for today. Cindric tying for the most points scored in today's race. What a win. What a race. What a win. Fastest lap, 121.923 for Dale Jr. 45 laps led of the 75 today. Jr. led the most despite qualifying in third. And the pole sitter, Noah Gragson, led just 2 laps all day despite qualifying on the pole. There's a tough break for Justin Allgaier, qualified second, DNF'd very early in the race. So that's going to do it for this one. As mentioned already, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We got these full race live streams on a daily realistic broadcast as I start my broadcasting career. So help me out on that journey so I can one day live the dream of broadcasting real NASCAR races on the track in person. So thanks everybody for that one. Hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the race commentary, the video in general, and I'll see you again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Talladega, for the Aaron's 499 NASCAR Thunder 2004. Should be a good one. Hope to see you there, and have a good rest of your night.